Welcome back to Goose Creek Fly Fishing. Tonight we're tying the Pink Lady. The Pink Lady is a pattern that was developed by George LaBranche, and his thought was that if he would tie these bushy salmon fly, these bushy dry flies for salmon, he could drift them like you would a dry fly, and the salmon would come up and take them like trout. So for this this pattern, he liked to use an upturned eye, light wire salmon hook, and that's what I have here. And ideally, he tied these on 4s, 6s, and 8s. So this is a size 6, and this is a TMC 79.99 hook. The materials to tie this fly are pretty straightforward. For the tail and most of the hackle, you're just going to need a ginger, and then there's a finishing hackle on the front end, and you just need a yellow hackle, one single. The body is going to be just some pink floss, and then for the rib, I'll be using this small oval gold tinsel. Thread is just a black thread. So we'll go ahead and get started. Just lay down just a good thread base for this material. And I want this fly to start with the tail right there between where the barb and the point of the hook are. We just trim off that excess. And I'm just going to grab some material, some barbules as they were, off one of the ginger feathers. Get my length. Set this down, and I'm just going to bind it down. Now when I brought it onto the hook, I had it just a little bit onto my side of the hook. Being right-handed, I'm tying up over the top, and that thread torque helps to roll that material right over on the top of the hook, right where I want it. So you can see it's right there. It's actually just you can adjust it. There we go. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tie in our tinsel. We don't need a lot of tinsel for this, but we're just going to put in our tinsel. And I'm only going to secure this with a few wraps, because as I tie in other materials, more and more wraps will go right over the top of that. So next thing we'll do, I'm actually going to secure the hackle, and I've pomaded it, and I'm just going to come in, and I'm tying this in at the tip. So once that's all done, I'll move my thread forward to where I'm going to want basically to stop the wrap of the body and tie in my shoulder hackles. So this fly does not have a wing, so it's honestly it's a pretty straightforward tie. It's not, my floss wasn't quite even. Now we're just going to come up over the top, away from me, and I'm just going to make touching wraps, moving backwards. And doing it this way, every time I come over the top, I'm giving a little bit of a twist to untwist the floss. As you do this, it'll want to twist on you, and you don't want that to happen, because then it won't lay flat and it kind of cords up. So just be aware of it. Pay attention as you lay this down. And that goes for any time you're laying a floss body. You'll see it. Now, as I go back forward, I'm actually kind of wrapping a little bit back on myself, as well as, as I move forward. And that helps to brighten up the color, and it also helps to smooth out any uneven spots on the fly. So there we go. Just gonna give a couple securing wraps, get that tied off. That a clip. So the next thing we're going to do, and this is a little different than maybe how you think you'd want to tie this. I'm actually going to rivet first, because in the examples I've seen, LaBranche, he kind of followed his ribbing with his hackle, and where kind of in a modern technique, we would hackle in one direction and then come back and counter wrap with the rib to lock it down. But that's not how he was tying, in the 1920s. So we're just going to tie it the way the picture looked. If you're tying this for yourself and you want to fish it, you can do it. You can do that however you want. So now I'm just going to come in with my hackle. Like so. And I'm just wrapping just to the back side of that floss. That rib I just put in. And once I'm here, I'm going to really give this a thick hackle up front with a lot of wraps. So this is just a little tedious at times. So now we will just capture that hackle. Come in, give that a clip. And then just to finish it off, it just has a yellow hackle in the front. So we just want to really get that bound down nice and tight. And I'm only going to give this maybe 2 or 3 wraps to the front. And I think the reason LaBranche did it this way was, I think the yellow may have been a little easier for him to spot on the water. I don't know that, but so now we're just going to kind of swoop everything back just so I can get a good head. We can brush all that forward now that I got my fingers out of the way. There's that one little fiber there that's just in the way, bothering me. So we're going to go ahead and whip finish this off. So there you have it, the George LaBranche's Pink Lady. I hope you enjoyed watching, and you know, if you want, give this fly a shot on your own. It's a great tie. It's fairly straightforward, and it's just a beautiful example of some very old patterns. All right, so until next time, I'll see you around the vise.